the work that we've done and the progress from before and after. It's amazing. You let go and then things like just come to you. You need to work hard. This is what's important. You need to kind of like deprogram yourself. Everybody should kind of know this.
All right, Tyler, welcome in. Thanks for coming on today.
Glad to be here, man.
Cool. So, for those of you who are tuning in, Tyler's just here today to talk about his story, his time doing the inner work, and was here to ask him some questions about his experience so you guys can learn more about the inner work and Tyler himself. So, Tyler, could you just talk about a little bit, how do we meet? Like, go back to the very beginning, and yeah, how did this all get kind of started for you?
Yeah, so it's funny because we met in Miami at a mastermind, and it was crazy because the first time I saw you, it was like in slow motion. You walking out of the kitchen, and there was just like I don't know, it was just like a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it. But I ended up like talking to you in the kitchen, and it was just like, I was kind of looking for something more so on like growing spiritually. Like a couple of days ago, I was like, yo, I need to like actually grow like in the spiritual aspect of my life. I have like a financial mentor, a physical trainer, but no one to really guide me spiritually. And so naturally, you kind of just like uh I kind of just attracted you. And that's kind of how we met. It was pretty cool. It was all super authentic.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember we did sessions right then and there, and you already started releasing, and yeah. For everyone who doesn't, know who you are, can you just say a bit about like who you are, what you do, what you're about? I mean, I know you do a number of things, but just give everyone a brief overview.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Adetayo Ibijamalusi. People call me Tayo for short, like tie your shoes. And what I do is I teach IT professionals how to scale to $500,000 a year, working 2 to 3 hours a day as an AWS cloud engineer. And then also I show people how to start their journey on building wealth. And yeah, it's a I do that's the main thing that I do. I'll keep it short. But yeah, I love what I do. It's a blessing to really serve people at this level. And the goal is to impact millions of lives on a global scale. Really building and teaching people in third world countries, building nonprofit schools and just one day at a time.
Yeah, Tyler's a really successful entrepreneur among many things, and he's had really high professional jobs within tech and government, and he's a man who knows a lot. But yeah, really accomplished businessman. So Tyler, I want to ask you, from when we met in Miami to now, which is probably over 6 months. I know you did my 13-week program, and we're doing another one. And then things took time. But just what do you think personally, within your own reflection, are the biggest changes that you've seen in your own self, just the biggest breakthroughs of doing this kind of inner work?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like it's so crazy. Like I have true freedom. And when I say that, it's hard for me to communicate for people to understand, but for me, I've always had a deep sense of attachment towards external validation and external security, finding security and love within other people. And when going through our sessions, we've done a lot. It's crazy. Even our first session, I felt like I could fly. Like I felt like there was so much like dog shit, like released from internal. Like I just felt like so much lighter. But from then to now, I feel like true freedom. Like for example, one of my closest friends, I've known her for 13 years. We went our separate ways. It just wasn't supposed to like we weren't supposed to. It just naturally went our separate ways. But the old would have been so attached to her, would have been so like wanting her validation, wanting her like connection, and it would have put me in a emotional like um um trauma, I guess you could say. Like I just would have been going through the emotions. But working with you, really understanding that the love, security, connection, really is something that we already have and we can give to ourselves. And so actually letting go of that person, like it's just true freedom. Like I'm not going through a roller coaster emotionally when things that's depending on like other people outside of me. And so it's like, wow, I don't really have to go through that emotions anymore. And I feel free. I feel like it's so much power. Like I can give myself that love connection. I don't have to depend on someone else. And it just adds a layer of security. It adds a layer of just peace. And so this is something that it's just insane. And there's so much that I'm learning too. I'm still doing another 13 weeks because it's insane. There's so much to learn. So I'm grateful. I know I said a lot, but I'm just
No,
it,
beautiful.
it's it, yeah,
Let me
that's what
ask
I
you
would say.
this because, yeah, amazing. Like a lot of people start this work and they don't really know how much work there is to do until they kind of get into it. So before you start this work, do you know how much dog shit there was, or programming, or trauma? Did you even have a clue, or was that kind of new for you just to go through all that?
It's one of those things like if you don't know, you don't know.
Hmm.
But I was so surprised because when I started doing even our first session, I was like, "Are you serious? Like this is inside of me?" And like we were just like scratching the surface. And so it was, yeah, I didn't know there's a lot. There's so much. Even like where I'm at now, like there's different layers.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's one of those things if you don't know, you don't know. But I was telling you in the sessions, like this should be taught in like elementary school. Like everybody should kind of know this, and it's scary that people don't. And it's like it's hard to like explain, but it's like, dang, people are, you know, this is like priority. This is a really high priority to actually understand this information. And when you go through life, because if not, it's like you're living a false life and you're just going through trauma. It's crazy.
For sure. You're not like you weren't completely new to this kind of inner work or looking within or self-reflection or spiritual guidance or anything. Can you talk a little bit about what other things you've done and maybe how this relates or fits in or is different?
Yeah, so like I was going through a lot in college, like a lot. I had a very toxic relationship and I read this book. I didn't read all of it. I read like 12 pages or 13. But it pretty much just talked about like really imagining your child self, the trauma that it's been in like close your eyes and like hug. And so when I did that, I was just crying. Like it was just like a lot of emotions. And what it was doing, it was like releasing a lot of like emotions that was stuck as a child. Because my child wanted like attention and wanted someone to hug it and wanted like, that connection. And I gave it to myself. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just reading the book and doing what it told me to. So that's what happened. I also went to therapy and just to like get checked out. This is like 4 years later. And they asked me some questions and they asked me about my life and they told me like after 4 or 5 sessions, I was like, hey, yeah, like you're good to go. There's nothing wrong with you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But going through this session, going through, working with you, it's just like that. It's so insane in terms of the amount of trauma, the amount of inner work that I've done with you that therapy couldn't catch. It's like 1% with therapy and then like 1,000% with you in terms of like the work that we've done and the progress from before and after. It's amazing. It's crazy to be honest.
Yeah, I love to hear it. So it's like, all we're doing right in this work is an inner game, but it has pretty profound effects on the outer game. And I know within our time working together, you've had some amazing, amazing achievements in your own, like the physicality of your life, right? Like recommend some business, the car, the home, all these kind of things. Can you talk about a bit about how did the inner work kind of change your outer world, like, your relationships, the business? Yeah, we'll talk about stock trading too, but how's the inner affect
Mhm.
the outer for you?
It's crazy because like there's a sense of faith and belief when it comes to like, for example, if someone was to tell my past self, yeah, if you like heal your trauma, like indirectly that can make you more money. It's just like, what? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, if you raise your vibration, you can actually operate in a certain frequency that can attract things in all aspects of you. It's just like, what are you talking about? Like, you need to work hard and you make money. But it is so crazy how things naturally started to come to me in terms of financially. For example, last month we did our biggest month, $116,000 in cash. And we spent 8,000 in ads. So that's like a 14 times return on my investment. And the reason why that happened is because something came to me like, hey, you should do this. It was just one small thing. Not only that, in terms of my car, like I was able to buy my dream car. And this was something that I just put in my mind, but it literally just naturally came to me in terms of like the price that I paid for it was insane. The miles that was on the car was 14,000 miles. It was insane. The house, this is like the best. This is like I wasn't even like thinking about a house at the time. But the opportunity of this house, it's like a gold mine. And so like things like naturally started to come to me once I started to raise my vibration because now I'm operating in a higher frequency. And it's crazy. It's like I'm still learning and I'm still like growing like in terms of like it's just crazy like letting go like of desire, letting go of like a lot of like raising your vibration and going up from the survival paradigm. It's like things just naturally come to you. And it's such a it's like easier. Like instead of like working hard, it's like you let go and then things like just come to you. And so, yeah, if I, like externally, like this is my house, but yeah, it's like the guitars over there. I got my little PlayStation right there. I don't play because I'm typically busy, but it's just like this is literally what was on my vision board. I think 2023. Like on my phone, this is literally like the same exact like like I'm gonna pull it up, but it's insane. Like I have the same exact picture. And it's crazy because not too long ago I realized like this is actually what I envisioned.
Yeah, I see it.
So yeah, externally it's life changing and it's kind of crazy because it's like you don't really think that doing inner work and focusing on that is like everything. And that's something you talk about too. Like this is like everything. When you first said that, it's like, what are you talking about? Gotta make some money, man.
What do you, dude, I love that
So
you said this. What do you like? I mean, I speak to entrepreneurs and business people all day long, and they think I need to grind more. Like they say, I'm in survival. It's like all these words that are so much just, ugh, I need to hustle, right? What would you even say to them to kind of get them to change their perspective as someone who's actually done it, who's made that 180, that shift to not to get out of that unnecessary suffering? Like, how would you kind of like, what would you tell them?
yeah. So what I would say is, so mind you, here's like the the thing I was telling you about. And like it's literally like the almost identical. Like even the couch. Like it's actually insane. It's just a different color couch. That's gray and I have it's still gray too, but darker shade of gray.
Wow.
Even like a thing like right there, like I have it right there. So yeah, just kind of showing a little proof in terms of attraction. But imagine there's like two masters. And one master is like on the negative aspect, and the other one is on the positive aspect. And like the negative aspect is like there's like a mass of people, right? And then the negative aspect is like, hey, I'm going to kind of feed you information, and the mass of people accepts that information. Work hard, grind, 9 to 5, like this is what's important. And a lot of people like believe that. And then there's like this positive like master. And it's just like, hey, to be able to really have what you want, you need to kind of like deprogram yourself, let go of all this bullshit. Now, of course, you need money to survive, you need money to eat, that's still important, but really understanding a more effective way of receiving that money, um, having a more effective way of operating at a higher frequency. That's more peaceful, that's more like joyful. Like that's like it's like the negative master is like you're operating at a negative vibration. And there's a lot of pain that's associated with that. But then this other master is like, hey, let's kind of raise our vibration. Let's let go. Let's reprogram our brain. Because even as the regular programming, it's like honestly bullshit. Um, and like it's like literally an illusion that the masses actually believed. And so I would say yeah, for the people and speaking to my past self, because I was like that too, and still working on myself too. But it's like there is so much information and beliefs that we've adopted that are not true and that are an illusion. And it's really just taking that step of like drinking the clarity water to see what is real. And once you start to take those steps, you'll start to see what's real for you. And then like life is just a lot easier. Like it's crazy. It's like so I'm a Christian, and so like there's a saying like my cup shall overfloweth,
Hmm.
and my cup shall runneth over. And like literally the amount of blessings, the amount of like just talking about financially, talking about like externally, the amount of blessings it's just crazy. Like I don't know if I told you, but I'm about to be on the news, CNN, CNBC, Fox Business, like Discovery, and this person, the producer, the senior producer, they reached out to me, right? And so it's just like really deprogramming your brain, letting go like is that really serve you and putting new information into your brain and seeing if that works or not. And for me, it did.
Yeah. Wait, Tyler, I want to see if that's a beautiful man. Is the connection good right now? The last 2 seconds it just started. It's good. Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Good. I wanted to ask you this, man. Like you brought up that you're Christian, right? And I work with a lot of people, different faiths, all across the board. Like now that you've done the work, right? It's like we talk about like consciousness and vibration and manifestation. And sometimes, and sometimes the way I describe myself as a spiritual coach. And maybe sometimes in the beginning, those words are new or could push people away. But just as a Christian, how would you kind of fit in this work and into your own faith, into everything that that's a part of you? How would you kind of fit it together or explain it?
Yeah, so as you know, when we first met, I was like hesitant on really learning this because it was new. I didn't really, honestly, I didn't really understand it. And I I was as a Christian, I didn't really understand. Like I'm like learning stuff more things as a Christian. So it's like I'm a baby Christian. And so I was kind of scared in terms of like not really doing something will contradict like my faith as a Christian. But in terms of like what I know now from being a Christian, I'm still learning, and then also um, this work with you, I feel like for me in my experience, nothing that you've taught me is like it's like in conflict of my belief as a Christian. I think that honestly, everybody needs to know this information. It's really just like it's really like it's so crazy. It's like we go through life and it's like we are like getting wounds, scars, and you just teach us how to heal those wounds, like how to put the band-aid here. Now, as a Christian, we rely and depend on God for everything, which is, still true, right? But there's a saying, God helps those who helps themselves,
Hmm.
you know? And so it's like being able to be equipped with like, for example, even outside of this work, like we depend on God. Yes, God will provide, but how can God provide for you if you don't go out and work, if you don't acquire skills to be able to make money from that? It's the same thing with this. You know, yes, we want to depend for God, for different things that we need. But God has to work with something. You have to, zero times one is still zero. And so it's like with this work, I feel like everybody needs this in life because it's just a skill set that's able to really heal the traumas and things that you've gone through in life and 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 really reach different spiritual levels. Um, and at the same time, like I said, I'm still learning, but for me, it hasn't really conflicted anything in terms of my faith in this work that we're doing.
Yeah, really, really well articulated. I'm curious to ask you. So, like, we talked about this, last time we talked, but like, your whole life's basically dedicated to uplifting people. Like, that's your whole work. Helping people get the skills where they need to get them to the next level of their own journey. It's just you're a different kind of guide than I am. But you've also shared this work with, your own, your sales guy, your business partner, your other friends. So you're always uplifting people as a business owner with a team. Like, what have you noticed even about, or could you talk about just like uplifting your team with this kind of work and how you think about that?
Yeah, so I haven't taught like my team this stuff, but I've seen that even it's just a different environment with my team. Like I've changed and they can definitely see that. It's just more like imagine something is like you have like a tight knot. Then as you start to go through this program, your knot is like releasing, releasing. And I'm the CEO. Not to say that like I'm higher than anybody else, just literally I'm the CEO. But then as like I am like releasing that knot and it's like pressure being released, the whole business is reflecting around that. Like I've heard even people saying like yeah, like the business feels a lot more like 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 the pressure is like released. It's a really good environment to work in. It's like it is it's amazing. It's yeah, like when I heard that from one of my employees, they were like, yeah, like it just seems more like I don't know, less it just seems more smooth working here. And I was just like, well, thank you. And so like I guess like because I'm different, they can like subconsciously feel that. And it's just a smooth, really good environment to work in terms of the company.
Yeah, I really like that. I want to ask you about stock trading because this seems like very like as far as relatable to most people that I could imagine, this kind of work in stock trading. But could you talk a little bit about your journey even with that? Like this work's applicable to everything. Like it touches everything. So could you just even talk about just its relation into trading?
So for anybody listening to this that's a day trader, maybe you can cut this segment out and just clip this. But for anybody listening that is a day trader, we know that 95% of day trading is psychology. This work that Madison has is like the only thing you need to be a successful trader. Now, I've been focused on the business aspect, like of IT, and so I haven't been day trading. But that's why I wanted to renew our I'm doing the program again, so that we can focus on day trading. I think that this is something that every single day trader needs to be successful. And I have no doubt if they're willing to put in the work, they will be a successful day trader. It is insane in terms of the work that you do and how that relates to the markets. But it's like it's so directly related, but it's like you wouldn't think it's related. It's just like, like you're not like a day trader, helping people with their psychology, but that is like this is everything that they need. It's so crazy because now I cannot literally our last session, I was telling you, I was like, I can't wait to like get on the market. But it's like we're still making sure that internally, you know, I'm in alignment where I can just, pull money from the market. And it's everything. So to be successful, you need to change who you are. But this is that work that clearly does that. Like it's insane. Instead of me trying to figure it out on my own, I have you to guide me in terms of becoming the person that's able to attract money from the market.
Yeah. Yeah, really cool. I really quick, can you hear all these birds? I wanted to stop, but I was trying to time it correctly. Okay, it's good. Um, cool, man. I wanted to ask you this, just like, a lot of the people I work with are, yeah, they're just entrepreneurs. Like, what do you think, even just speaking to entrepreneurs directly, what do you think the greatest benefits are for them? They probably have no recollection of what this work is. Like, is there anything you can say on it to them? Just other business owners, entrepreneurs, people want to get to the next level in business, but they just, yeah, they're always so focused on the outside.
I think if you're stuck between like maybe 10, 20, anywhere from 10 to 30K, maybe even 50K, this is definitely the unlock that you need. Um, because yes, there's different systems. There's honestly, you can make money like externally, like implementing new SOP systems into your business, trial and error, testing different things. But there's a difference between external work and internal work. I went from 56,000 to 116,000 from the internal work. Now, it was internal and external. The internal, the thing came to me, and then I applied it. Instead of me going to things, trying to figure it out, figure it out, figure it out, figure it out, it was just so much easier because it came to me. And so it was just like, it's like going with the stream, going with the flow, as opposed to going against it. And so I think every single like entrepreneur needs this because it's just it's like would you rather work harder or work smarter? And as business owners, we want to work smarter. We want to be able to make more money and work less. And so essentially what this that's what it did for me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Tyler, I really want to appreciate you for coming on, for sharing, yeah, just all your wisdom and your experience. I just want to ask you, for anyone watching this, is there just one last thing you want to just tell anyone, or that just advice you have for them just watching this? They're probably interested in the work if they're watching this, probably about to dive in. Is there any final kind of advice, wisdom you could give for them?
Everything inside of me is saying do it, but uh, but no, it's I think once you start the journey of discovering who you are, everything like it just things just become easier. It's like it's just before working with you, I didn't even know I was carrying like and then our first session, I was like, well, what the hell? I didn't know I was carrying all this. So I just felt lighter. And because I was lighter, it was just easier to attract certain things. I think like literally within like our first session, within like a couple of hours, I attracted a sale, which is naturally, we just bank account. And like I think I paid you and then just literally got the money back plus more. And so it was like financially, yes. The I can't remember. I don't think I did this because of financial gains. I think it was just internal. But the financial ROI was, I mean, it's insane. And but more importantly, I feel like something that I guess the wisdom or advice I would say is literally this is like for a long time. It's like I got something I didn't know that I needed because for a long time, emotionally, it's like I was in like in the like I was on a roller coaster with like different people, relationships. But it's like I'm free. It's like it's like I'm free. It's so crazy. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's one of those things where I don't know it well enough to communicate it. I just know it because I've experienced it. But like now that I'm at this level and I'm still growing, I have a lot to learn. Even when I see other people or other relations, it's so crazy because I can literally see like kind of like where they are, like where they're operating in, like ego, how that's not serving them and like pride, like things that's just like it's just so crazy because that was me. But now that I've learned this and I've done the work, I can see that in other people. And I can even like I've kind of helped like two of my close friends with this stuff. Like, hey, the stuff that you teach, and they're just like, what the heck? I like this is insane. And so it's crazy. My advice would be like I truly believe that everybody in this world needs this information because it's just something that's just not taught. And it's one of those things that it's something that I feel like you need, like taxes, knowing how to invest, things that they don't teach you in school. I think this is something that you need. These are one of those things that you need to learn outside of school that they don't teach you. So that would be my advice is to learn it. And how you can learn it from anywhere. Well, I won't say learn it from anywhere, but like there's different resources. I mean, you learned it outside of yourself. Um, but I think you should take that next step in that journey to gaining this information. I highly recommend Madison. There's other resources, obviously, but I'm just speaking from my own experience. This was the a really, really good decision that I did, and I don't regret it.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Kyle. Just yeah, all of the incredible work we've done together and still doing. I know you're planning to come down to Brazil or to live and do some inner work too and physical, and that's a whole other ball game of kinds of work that's going in. But yeah, just appreciate you for our journey, man, and just for taking the time today to tell everyone about yourself, your journey, and yeah, just yeah, why to do the inner work. So, amen. I'll see you soon, but thanks for coming on and sharing everything. So appreciate you. I'll see you next time, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.